trying to pull it up on my iPad too, so we can see.
We are now live.
Hey, what's up?
And welcome to Bourbon Street Bookers.
Oh, I got it. It came up. All right.
Welcome. Hey,
what's up? And welcome to Bourbon Street Bookers.
Oh, all right. There we go.
Good.
I had to get it together.
We have anybody in the house tonight? Let's see. As I am pulling it up as well. Let me put mine on. And this way we have Sakira's watching. Sakira, Tara, and Chantel are watching. Hey guys. We're just waiting for a few more people to log on. We have 4 viewers so far. But guys, we have with us tonight our very first male
We can see
author.
You, Tara.
Yes, we can see you.
The first, so I'm groundbreaking.
Yes, you are groundbreaking.
You are the
first. Let me just show y'all before we get
honored, very honored.
Before we get into our author, y'all, I have CCJ's shirt on. Her amazing book stacks. What you drinking tonight with us, Kevin? You got your wine?
Water.
She drinking wine and I'm drinking Red Bull because I had a rough
Okay.
Got a little Louisiana gumbo, y'all. Hey, boo.
Who is that saying? Oh, it's a man.
Yeah.
That mean about to cut up. Girl, Evelyn. That's Evelyn. Oh my God.
With us tonight is author Kevin Macklin. Now we say your profile name is Paper Chaser as well. Okay.
Yes, so Kevin Paper Chaser on Facebook.
Okay, so we've seen him around, guys, and he's been a member with Bourbon Street Bookers for a while. We had the pleasure of reading your series, Sire. Am I saying that correct?
Sire.
Yeah, you know.
Sire.
Oh, yes. I should have given you that disclaimer about me and mispronunciation.
Oh, hey,
yes, Sire. Well, welcome. Was Sire your first baby?
It wasn't. I actually started out writing my John Doe series because I love thrillers and I never saw any black thrillers. So I said, I'm going to write a black thriller. So I wrote a black thriller. And then, and I've always had a love for urban novels as well. So I stepped over and wrote that as well. But it's been great. It's been very interesting.
Excellent.
It was good because let me tell you how you want to know why I really bought this book and read this book. Tell them why, Yana.
Because of the ghosts, the grip, and the dread.
I saw that cover. I said, "Girl, he got gold teeth and a beard. I'm about to read this."
Hopefully, it lived up to your expectations.
It was good. I enjoyed it. It was a quick read. I appreciate that. And it rolled. It wasn't anything that dragged out.
It didn't.
I did enjoy it.
Where are you from, Kevin? I noticed you merged the books at one point, right?
Hmm?
You made it a full story. Okay, yeah. Because I was like, wait, when I got into I read the full story, and I was like, wait, 2 was just a repeat. But go on. She was saying, where are you from?
I've lived all over, but I spent most of my time outside of DC and in Oklahoma.
Oh, cool.
DC and Oklahoma.
Alexandria, Virginia, Oklahoma.
Okay.
It's an odd combination, right?
Yeah.
Very, very odd combination.
I read your book in December that you sent me, Certain Reprisal. Actually, I did the audio. Yes.
Yeah.
The John Doe. I did that.
Right, that's my John Doe.
Now, see, you didn't even tell me about that.
I did, but I was sick, so I was kind of all over the place. Because that's what he sent me to give. That was my get well present. He was like, here, I was like,
that's what's up.
That was what was up. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what was up. But let's get into Sire.
Let's do it.
You said that you left this open to where we could you could write a third book, right?
I could, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I can see that there should be an update somewhere. When did you write this? When did you publish?
Earlier this year.
2019. Oh, that was 2020?
Oh, it was at the very end of last year. Wow, I'm
Okay.
lost for time right now. It is
Okay.
March 2021. Yeah, so end of last year, I started writing and finished it up, and got it out. So
Oh, okay. This was a really good story. I honestly read it and was like, I think I know where this is going. But there were a few twists and turns that I truly appreciated because I was not expecting my girl to get a little thuggish. So so we don't spoil it, guys. I don't know how many of y'all out there read it, but yeah, that cover Tara was like, oh, okay, he got the dreads and the goals, and he truly. Come on, ask all the questions you got. Tell me what you have for us.
So they had two people. So we can clear this up real quick because Ayana is one of them. Texting me talking about where was Chris at the end of the book. I said, well, Chris was with his daddy.
That was
talking about his daddy was going to jail. I said, well, he didn't go to trial yet. And then I told my cousin, she was asking me the same thing. I said, you asking the wrong question. Y'all talking about where Chris at, where Chris' mama was.
Girl, wasn't about to worry about her because obviously she ain't want to be in the picture. What you got for us, Nicole?
That's Nicole talking about
Dante might pop
that was
back
asking
up.
about Chris.
A few people might pop back up later on.
What was that, Kevin?
They might pop back up later on.
That might be our book 3 because I sure like to know how Chris made out. But what I really appreciated more than anything was he was a Black, intelligent, sophisticated businessman that it was like, yeah, I'm dipping and dabbing into drugs, but I got a lot much more going for me, and that was it for me. That was it right there. Even the way he handled his business, it wasn't raw. He had compassion for his community. He wanted to give back,
right?
And I was like, damn,
absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely.
That's swaggish.
That's right. So, look, I think that I don't know if every author does this, but when I write, I always put a little bit of myself or my experience or things that I'm familiar with, people I'm familiar with, things like that. I try and tell stories that are actually real. And at some point in time, people tell me how real my stories seem. But like I know a lot of the characters that I write, some of the characters I write on myself. So I know, I know, man, I grew up in the hood. Let me tell you.
Come on.
So we all did.
Yes, but I happen to be the smart guy in the hood. So that is kind of a reflection of me in a way, but it's a reflection of other people I know too. It's just, I try and keep it real as possible.
Cause see, we born and raised in NOLA, but NOLA is pretty much that. We're from the 7th Ward,
I've been there.
Yeah, so the light skin can fool you.
I've been there. But I was there before Katrina, but I've been there.
Yeah, we open our mouth and remove all doubt. Believe me.
Nicole wants to know.
Very good question.
Did Maya finish school?
Did she get
Is
her
name Maya? That's her name, Maya.
Maya.
Yeah,
did she finish school?
Did Maya finish school?
Well, currently she's taking a break, but we might find out later.
Cause our man got paper.
But education is important, no matter how much money you got. So I don't want anyone to miss that at all.
So we know you got a book 3 coming through. Then make sure you tag BSB.
One of my favorite authors is Ari Jerome Dickey, and one thing that I really loved about Ari Jerome Dickey was how he always had characters from other books pop up in other books, and then you learn a little more of their stories and things like that. So much respect and rest in peace to my man. But he's definitely one of my people I look up to. So
Yeah.
they'll
Now,
pop
I
back
love
up.
that. That says a lot about who you are and your writing style and, your literature experience. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't get too much of that. I love when Nicole said, she said, don't let her get too much of a break. We need a little bit from her. And I agree with you. Let me tell you what I admired about her, though, Nick. She had this attitude, like literally, did she know that she wasn't, she wasn't no strong, thuggish woman. She wasn't about all that. But when it came to her nephew, sis was like, nah,
Absolutely.
it ain't. And that's how it's
Absolutely.
supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to
That
be. Threaten
is.
my life. Yeah, if you want to threaten, you want to take me, but it's going to take for you to take me out in order for you to let me take them. So I
Those are the
found
women
that,
I grew up with.
okay, born
Hey,
and
they
raised
will
in
get
Nola.
gangster real quick. You come around messing
Real
with them
quick.
kids.
Real
Yes.
quick.
Real quick.
Girl, you
Now,
talking about
Nicole,
Diego. I know
why
you
you
ain't
want
talking about no
Dago?
Diego. That
Why you want Dago to get a standalone? We want Dago to die.
really though. If I find out he got hit by a bus the next time we read, I'm okay with that.
Hey, listen, people dislike Dago, but I think he was an interesting character.
Dago was
I
a
really
punk
think he
though.
was.
Let me tell you, Dago was a punk because he let them dudes outside the store punk him when when they were telling him something about his mom, and he said something, and the guy said, "What you said?" And he said, "Nothing." Like, no, if you said
Speak
something
your
one
Yes.
time,
mind.
you should be able to say it twice. If they whip
That
your
is.
ass, then they just whip your ass. You went down fighting.
All
But he was
right.
a punk right then and there. I knew
That's
I didn't like him.
he was, and that was a major part of his character. But
And that foul stuff
people
he was
grow
doing.
sometimes, maybe not.
Yeah, well, I ain't worried about Diego. If he's
What's
ripping and get right, then
what's his
okay.
name, y'all? What's his name again?
Shut up. I said Drago. That's the one.
Yeah,
Her
that's that
name is
accent.
Dago.
Girl, you know
That's that
characters get
accent.
renamed on BSB.
She's gonna call him about 10 different things before she get it right. Don't worry about it.
Your grandma be in the back calling you by
Call
every
her
sibling
children.
name.
Every
Yeah.
name but your name.
And your name be the very last
Jeremiah,
name.
Joshua, whatever your name
You
is.
Listen,
know who I'm talking to.
and I'm the eldest grandchild. So when my grandmother started calling my daughter and then work her way back, I gave birth to her. Like, I was here first. Hello.
Oh man, that is so funny, but it's so real. It's so real.
It really is. It really is. But I truly enjoyed their story. I enjoyed how much he admired her courage. He admired
Absolutely.
Her compassion.
her
Her
compassion, but
compassion, absolutely.
that truly was it. But I think what he saw in her is what is not like what women are not traditionally known for, right? And it bothers me that there's so many women that's perceived to be that's like a stereotype that men tag on women that they're money hungry. You daggle, they ain't got a few dollars in their face, they gonna dance. No, man.
Right,
You go to the strip club if you
right.
want a woman to dance for the money because that's not a rhyme or reason. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I wanted her to really be more, I mean, deeper than that, right? Because people are sometimes they're that, but sometimes they're not too. I know many women that I grew up with from the hood who are absolutely not like that. Although I do know a few who are, but I know too many that aren't like that. That are not money hungry. That aren't chasing a bag or chasing a dollar, and they hungry for themselves, and they really want. They have that personal drive to do it for themselves and be independent and be their own caretaker.
Absolutely. And you know what? She had every reason to be money hungry, but not in the sense of selfishness and greed. Hell, the damn lights was being cut off. And your brother a drug
Absolutely.
dealer?
And look, you heard what she told him. She was like, "You have me out here struggling,
Struggling. I'm
and you
taking care
selling
of your
drugs."
son. Like, yeah, he needed his ass whipped too.
But hey, I know you know a few of them though.
Yeah,
But I was
yeah,
glad he
me
didn't
too.
have to take that route of making them an example or, threatening to harm them. But I think just the idea, but you heard what your boy said. He was like, Chris was good because he don't do that with children, which we saw that
Right.
again with his compassion with the neighborhood. But like any thug, don't test me. Don't test me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely. But
Andrea's trash ass.
Girl.
oh man.
That was ridiculous. But you know what? When I was reading that,
Hey,
I was mad at her. But then I started thinking, and I was saying, he's partially to blame for that.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Because he played well.
You don't shit where
Played
you
well.
eat.
That is. That
You don't
is.
shit
but
where you
also
eat.
like Andrea, listen, the heart is powerful. Love is powerful. Like, and when you develop an emotion for someone, despite how that person may feel, it still drives you to
That was
to
love?
act in some way or whatnot. It was something. She felt something for him.
But
Obviously,
That
I
was
think that
lust
that's a
and
about to say
jealousy
jealousy
and
because
lust.
her thing was
probably lust.
she said to your girl, straight up, oh no, boo, don't come up in here getting no ideas. He don't rock like that. And then when her brother got out of jail, he said the same thing, like he don't rock like that. Again, he had his own set of trust issues where he just didn't deal with women like that. So for her to think, again, her issue was, oh, so somebody came and changed your mind. And it wasn't me all this time. I'm putting in time. I'm cooking your meals and preparing your feast, and I ain't the one you selected. That was jealousy. But
But it
again,
happens
you
so
don't shit
often,
where
and
you eat.
people really experience that jealousy so often. So,
Yeah.
don't we know? It's the world we live in, unfortunately. We have quite a few readers in here, and I don't know if you guys got a chance to read it, but this was a really good series. As a matter of fact, it was 2 books, but like so many authors, it was merged into one book. A real quick read, about 100 some odd pages, but it was an interesting story. And if you just coming in and you miss some stuff, what you miss is that this was a brother on the front cover. Like Nicole said, the cover can be deceiving. It can give you the perception that he is again, stereotype, like,
Hold on. He was
go
perfect.
ahead.
Gentleman with gangster tendencies.
That is.
okay.
Hood and holy. I
Perfection.
like that. He
Like
was hood
me,
and
hood and
holy.
holy. And look at Nicole. Let me tell y'all something about Nicole. Nicole loves her. She loves the bad guy. She
Girl.
loves the bad guy. So you see, she's on here asking about El
Oh,
Canelo.
about Dago. Okay.
No. She
Okay.
want to know about El Canelo now.
And listen,
Oh, El Canelo,
I'm
the
sitting here
plug.
like, I don't know what
The
my
plug.
role is.
The plug. He is the plug.
So she wrote a book on the plug.
El Canelo. That's I hadn't thought about that, but that might be interesting.
Listen, all we gotta tell you is because of Bourbon Street Bookers, you got a book 3 to write, and we need a tag. You better let us know when you're ready so we can get on in.
I want to create a whole world, right? So, I want to create a world, right? So, hey, listen, y'all are welcome to experience it with me. I hope y'all experience it with
bring us in. Let me share something with you. Our favorite author has a whole universe. Love Delvin Universe. She is one of our absolute favorites. You don't ever get the same story twice. Okay, but she'll dibble and dabble and dribble a little bit from other books, but she's created a whole world, a whole universe.
She writes along the lines of EJD, but hers is a little more.
I love authors that do that.
Right, hers is a little more in depth.
Yes.
Where his will just make appearances here and there. Hers are a little more in depth.
Whoo, baby, let me tell you.
I think that whenever interesting characters pop up, I do want to follow that story. So.
Absolutely. Because first off, like, I'm always looking for my B. I'm always looking for him to pop up in one of her books. So I'm like, let me see Vay in there. Yeah, let me see. But
so you what's next after this? Are you going back to the thrillers?
I am not. What's next for me is I'm going to try a combination, right? So I have a purpose with this because I think that more Black people should get into the stock market. There's so much money to be made there, so I kind of want to teach people how to trade and invest from a street perspective.
There is. I like that too. There's a lot that can be learned, a lot can be taught. But what I do like is if you pull readers into it, especially like you said, if this is your world and you're given exposure to it, it's not always what they perceive. And that's why I say one of the things that I liked about this, although I'm definitely one of those people that love the idea of a man that's in the streets, but he's intelligent. He's compassionate. Man, this man making money off the people, but again, he's still giving to the people. He's making sure they're eating. They say that Robin Hood scene. That's exactly who he was, and he was true with his. I love that he created a family within his group, within his organization. He had that one rule: no man left behind, and you just don't roll out. He was very protective of them.
And to me, I'm gonna be honest, he was like a throwback to a different time period. A few hundred years back, people were the society wasn't like it is today. So the men had to be strong, but they also had to love their family, love their community too, because they had to protect their community in a way that people don't have to protect their community nowadays. So I kind of wanted to throw back to that and show that he was strong. He could be, gangster when it came down to it, but he really loved his people, so that was why he did what he did, and that's a real big part of who he is.
They don't make gangsters the same.
No, they don't. That's why I'm like, listen, you can be whoever you want to be in the streets making money. I don't care. What I do care is that you're not evil, and that's the difference, right? Because if you're choosing just to be harsh, to be cruel, to be using people, nah. I don't care what profession you in. I don't care what organization you're a part of. If you're mean and cruel, listen. Yes,
Tara. It covers
really
both books.
Too.
And people, if you can't, to the comment that was posted, but he was remorseful for the way of his life, absolutely. And I think you should be. You should be conflicted when you're doing what's considered to be morally wrong. If you're not conflicted in some way, then you probably are one of the evil ones, right? So it should be hard. Things should be hard. Absolutely.
And I agree with you there. I like that once he got to know her, his whole perception changed about how he wanted, to really deal with her. And he made it known. He made it known. He became very protective of her. But when he found that there was a moment when her life was being threatened, right? And she literally showed compassion for somebody. He had never seen anything. Isn't that amazing? When you can say you've never seen compassion from someone or for someone, to show compassion to somebody who's getting ready to harm them. I just thought that was like, yeah, he gets to. It's a whole new world in her world.
She was a different breed of
woman. But
woman.
Again, how can you be a nurse and not have compassion for somebody?
Because that's part of the job.
Exactly.
That's part of the job. That's part of the makeup of a nurse.
Exactly. And he was willing to get to know her. He was really willing to get to see her for who she was. That's what I liked about her. But when sis got a little taste, that sex scene was like, oh, okay. Y'all missed a good sex scene. And let me tell you something. We've had discussions where we've talked about male authors not showing enough creativity, enough what's the words I want to use, y'all? Throw out some words. Because we've said some things about, like, when they write about sex scenes, it's not descriptive enough. It's just like, okay, they bump, they grind, they, did a little wine. And we want more. Listen, that's it. You know, that's sensuality. Yes.
I'm sitting here laughing at Tara because first she put the crying, laughing emojis, and I'm sitting here like, well, is she uncomfortable?
She know, cause she know her friends. She know me. But that's what we
Well,
need.
and listen, as a man, men's minds just work different from women. So,
It does.
it
But what do you
does. It
experience
does.
in the literature world? Are there more readers that are men or women?
Women, women.
So she telling you you got to give
Therefore,
the people what they want.
you
I,
That's
gotta
what she
give.
telling me.
I'm learning. I'm soaking this up. Listen, I learn fast. Tell me once, and I'm with it. So, hey,
Yes, yes,
As
yes.
long as you just have a story with it, because we
Absolutely.
right.
love, personally, myself and Ayana, we both love erotica, but it has to have a
A
storyline. It can't
storyline.
just be
Definitely.
a constant flow of sex scenes. It has to have a storyline.
I
So
think it also has to have a meaning too, right?
Mm-hmm.
connection. You know,
And
like
and,
it's got to
and
be purposeful. I just listen. Don't do Judy just because she got the big booty in the club scene. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like
or
no.
or it could be a part of someone's like character, right? They might be going through some things or something like that, dealing with some heavy stuff, and that's their outlet or something like that. Yeah, but
Whew,
it
that's
has to be
story there.
relevant to the story.
Yeah, that's a bend it over. Whoop whoop.
Didn't I tell you somebody was gonna cut up on you?
Oh,
I
it's me.
told you that.
Hey, listen.
Yes, it's you. It's you. I told him when I first asked, I said, listen, I'm just going to apologize ahead of time. I did not know that I was
It
going to
was
be
gonna be.
apologizing for my friend.
I'm sorry.
Listen, it's all good. It's all right.
Evelyn, she should know
It's
better,
all.
right? Listen,
She
I'm
did
just saying.
apologize ahead of time. No, she gave
I
me fair
did.
warning.
I did. Because I knew somebody was going to cut up. I just didn't know it was going to be her.
She should know better. I don't know why. I'm just saying. Listen, I just finished reading. You mentioned Eric Jerome Dickey is one of your favorite. And we've made it our business for the month of April to focus on new authors that we've never been exposed to, never been introduced to. And we have a whole platform, especially at the end of the month. We've even challenged our readers to read 6 books by these 6 new authors. And that's what Bourbon Street Book is about, giving everybody a platform. As a matter of fact, they're called Fresh Bourbon, right? So bourbon on the rocks. But anyway, this is the exciting part about it, getting you connected with the readers, getting to know. And like I said, we don't have many male authors, but we have gotten some new male authors in the club in Bourbon Street Bookers, and I think it's amazing. We have a few more, and I cannot wait to get into their books to read about their sex scenes and some of the things. But what inspired you outside of reading Eric Jerome Dickey and just telling the story from your hood? What was your inspiration to say, hey, you know what? I got a story to tell.
So uh, honestly, I read a lot, right? I like reading. I've been reading since I was a little kid. I'm talking about I used to read Goosebumps books, going to the library, grabbing them every time they come out. And I just over time, I didn't see the black representation in other genres except for urban novels. So I really wanted to step out and do that. But I also have a love for novels, for the hood, for all things that represent us as a minority, our culture, the black culture, everything about it, right?
Come on
So
now.
I also wanted to
Let's
tap
go.
into that and and just show different sides of it and things like that. So I guess that was my whole thought process going into it. And I also wanted to show that, like, people can be from the street, they don't have to be rough. I think I just wanted to make a representation that some people could relate with. That I don't see that often, although I do see it, but I don't see it. I don't see. I mean, I see some good black representation in urban novels, so I can't be mad at that. But I just wanted to tell this story.
Hey, I
We
ain't mad
see
at
it in it's not a whole bunch, but we do see it in urban fiction. We hardly ever see it in like African American romance. We hardly ever see it in that. I don't think I can name one black male author for African American romance. We do see it in urban fiction.
Why do you think that is, Kevin?
I think that for the most part, men are drawn to certain types of stories, right? So I guess maybe what the average African American romance reader probably isn't that guy, because they would probably tend to lean more toward the urban stuff, right?
Are you good on your end? I hear the alarm.
Yeah, it's an alarm. It'll go
Oh,
off.
I was sitting there. I thought that was my headphone.
No,
I hear that. Listen, I don't want you to sit in here catching fire while you
Nah,
while you talking to them.
Just give it a second. I apologize for that, though.
No problem. Listen, life happens. We didn't have an author where the Wi-Fi really had to come up in it. But go on. I just want to make sure you were safe.
It's live. You hear me? That's how we know it's live.
That's how we know it's live. It's all the way live. Yeah, go ahead.
So I don't even know what else we were talking about.
No, we were talking. You were telling us why you felt like we don't see black male representation in
in black romance. But your book was really named on the front of it, said urban African romance, did it not? On top of
yeah, an urban romance, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was just defined a little differently.
Well, no, because remember we had this conversation last week.
Yeah, I like the
urban. Yeah, there's urban romance, and then there's black romance. There is a difference. You forgot.
There is a difference.
Did you catch that, Kevin? In the Black Romance 2021 in Indie Love.
There is a difference.
There is, and there is so much more we can really learn and from each other, right? As a reader, as an author, but even more so in defining what we want. And one of the things that I've really appreciated about a lot of the new authors is that the words that they've used to say, listen, I was reading stories that had stories that I figured, listen, I gave it my own turn. I wrote because I couldn't find what I like to read.
Right.
And we've had some amazing new authors to come out and drop it. I mean, literally run us out. Listen, who is that? Coming straight out the gates, brand new material. And we're like, I mean, they've even been accused of being having ghostwriters or really having a different pen name. That's how fire they come with it. But I think that's key. Writing what you love and understanding that you write for yourself first. That's what Love says, and I love that. That she says, I write to
tell your story.
That's right. That's right. If you don't encourage yourself, you can't expect other people. You can't wait for other people to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, a lot of that story I simply enjoyed because for me, it was ideal to what I like to see in a black man. I don't care what your thing is. Compassion, intelligence is important because too many of our black men just stuck with that stigma and stereotype of just being thug. Because you gotta go, you hood.
Listen, there's a real disdain for education in the hood.
Come on,
I agree.
Come on,
I agree.
Like you gotta be ashamed because you obtain some type of a higher level of education beyond high school. Like what?
I mean, look, I grew up in the hood and I was a smart guy in the hood, so I literally experienced it. And let me tell you something: the smart guy in the hood fights a lot.
Hey, hey.
For real.
So you grew up in DC or you grew up in Virginia?
Alexandria, Virginia, and Oklahoma City. So I was back and forth between both, depending on. My grandparents lived in Oklahoma City. I lived with them for a while. My mom was military, so she was up in DC. Stayed with her for a while. So
Oh, you got
a little bit
around.
of back and forth.
Yeah.
I got around.
And where
That's
are you
why
now?
my accent is so weird. I'm in Oklahoma right now.
We're not gonna talk about accents.
No, we're not gonna do that. Cause I don't have one, but if I did.
Girl,
hey, y'all sound like Louisiana.
Girl, stop. Stop.
Sound like the Ninth Ward.
Right in their backyard.
Okay, so next is stock market and investing. That's what you're doing next.
Yeah, well, yeah, but so not exactly like that, but I want to inspire people to look into it, right? Because it's a great way to build wealth. Ooh. And Black people need wealth. We we feel like we're second class citizens, but the only way to change that is with wealth, and you got to build it. So I would like to inspire some people with it to start looking into it and checking it out. Okay. But it's going to be a story. It's going to be a story about a person, and it just happens to be one dimension of his life.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds really.
When can we expect that?
Yeah.
Hopefully this summer.
So you have a lot of knowledge about the stock market, or are you planning on doing research?
I'm an active investor and trader, so I got a little bit of knowledge.
Hey.
Not too much, a little bit.
Well, we definitely got to hook up.
I'm about to tell you, don't be surprised when she in your inbox tomorrow. Yeah.
For real. We have definitely been looking. Listen, that's what I'm talking about, Tara. I am definitely looking for us to bring something more. Because like I said, our books will inspire us, but look if we apply it. Listen, all right, yeah. I am definitely interested in that, guys.
And so this is I plan on this one being an African American romance.
Come on now, y'all. Come on now.
Okay, Black romance, not urban.
Y'all
Black
heard
romance.
it here first on Bourbon Street Bookers. You heard Mr.
Just remember what Ayana said about descriptive sex scenes, okay?
Please.
Hey, listen. Please. Tell me once, I got it.
Listen, I want a brother. I want him to be mannish. I want him to look. Bring that ass over here. You know what I'm saying? Don't let him. Don't get soft on us, man.
Lord help us. Help us.
I got you though. I got you.
What was that?
I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back, and I want you to tell me if I did it or not. Did I accomplish the goal?
Girl, Nicole, message.
Terry, you heard that, huh? African American romance. That's what this next book is gonna be, Terry.
That's what it is. We ready. We are ready. Just don't bring us no IRs.
Get away from the streets a little bit.
Okay, listen.
Listen.
Did you hear what Ayana said about the IRs? Don't bring us no IRs.
Don't bring no white girls up in our bedrooms. Whoop, whoop. It's too many beautiful, intelligent Black women out here. I want you to claim and handle your women accordingly. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, his
Wi-Fi going in.
Wi-Fi went out.
You better love them. You came from a Black woman. You better love them.
I love Black women. Man, I came from one. I love Black women to death. Absolutely. The struggle that Black women have been through, the strength that they've shown through that struggle is.
Come on.
Hey, listen, my grandma was born in 1912. She lived through it.
Yes.
She lived through it.
So. Yeah, and she'll be the first one to tell you, listen, don't bring her here. She can't use my brush.
What? What?
No, you went way back.
What?
Oh, Lord.
Baby, we don't be playing. Okay. All I'm just saying.
But yeah, I'm not really an R writer, so
Excellent.
I love black.
Because you got supporters right here in your community, and that's what we're building here. We're building up our authors, our people. We want you guys to know that we are here. We're buying your books. We want to read them. You're inspiring us, and I certainly appreciate it.
And the black community supports me, and I appreciate that so much, man. And so, yeah, it's not in me to do anything different.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you say we're getting a little stock market. Let me see. What are some ideas for your covers? How did you even come to have that book cover of Sire? I knew I was gonna say it again. I was actually trying to say get it right.
You gonna get it together?
Well, I had an idea in my head of what I wanted to present. Actually, I wanted to present a dude who obviously what was a representation of what I felt Sire was. I mean, a black man. He's strong. You can tell he's from the hood, but at the same time, I mean, he doesn't look low class. I say necessarily. I mean, he doesn't look rough. He doesn't look like he just came out of the projects a couple minutes ago from getting his wallet stolen, anything like that. So I kind of wanted to project that too. And so yeah, that's just how it came about. And I actually designed the cover myself.
Whoa. Listen, that literally was the book cover that said, "Don't judge a book by its cover." That was it for me. Because you see the dreads, you see the gold, and you're literally thinking he ain't about nothing. But baby, when Brumman was into science.
He was an engineer.
He was into math and science, guys. I'm like, come on. That's the sexiest thing. That is just so sexy.
We need more of our community in STEM fields.
STEM.
You see Tara, huh? Romance and finance.
That's Terry.
What was that? What was that song?
When the finances ain't right, the romance ain't right either.
Right. How did that song go?
What?
Girl, I'm trying to remember. No, it was something about the rent, something about the finance and the JOB. I'm trying to remember how it went.
Sarah, see, I be needing to connect stuff. Fire. So next time I say fire, remember Sire. Talina, we already knew you was gonna be late, sis.
Don't play her like that. Don't play her like that.
She gonna be late for our own interview, girl. We gonna put her last.
That's a shame.
We already know.
Okay, well, we're not gonna keep you too long. If y'all have any questions for Kevin, come through with him. Come through. Talina,
come through. Hey, listen, you can feel free to hit me up on social media too. Facebook, Kevin Paper Chase, Instagram, John Doe Series.
Send us some links to your stuff, and then we can, or you can post it in.
Right, you can definitely post your catalog. So you just had the John
Doe series. I got two novellas, and then that.
I'm gonna say it right, Sire, yeah.
Sire.
And you say you have two novellas. You said.
Well, that's in the John Doe series, yeah.
Oh.
They were like, prequels to that one.
Great question. Nicole say, what about cinnamon?
No, she said,
I saw that.
I said about cinnamon. El Canelo.
I thought about that.
How long have you been publishing?
What is this? 2021. I started in 2019.
And you're indie author, right?
I am. Well, I'm a mix hybrid kind of thing, I guess, right now, because I do have something going on under WCP, Wahida Clark and her science fiction for the culture imprint. I also have like a post-apocalyptic type novel too, with a young black protagonist. So I wanted to, I want to see us in all kind of places. So I'm trying to put this down.
Yeah, but
That
listen.
sounds like something Nicole would love too.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you.
Talina, he's gonna post the
He's
catalog and drop the links and stuff
Absolutely.
in the group.
Absolutely.
And like I said, what was so exciting for me, Allegra and I both we knew for the most part that there were not many male readers that we were into. She actually read Eric Jerome Dickey. I've not. And when I thought about it, I was like,
what?
I've read.
Listen, I've been on her since before he passed. I kept telling her he has been my number one author since I discovered him in my very early 20s. And
listen, I'm gonna tell you what to start with. This book will get you hooked. Drive me crazy.
Well, I want her to start from the top because I don't want these characters to pop in
and she don't know who they are.
And she don't know who they are, right? I'm not sure if she would like the Gideon series too much though, because he kind of that's not necessarily romance. That's like thriller. That's thriller. So he kind of went from black romance to thriller, type thing, and then he did a little mixture in between that too. So
and then he has his erotica. Yeah, I mean he's
listen, I've been standing for pleasure and decadence.
Pleasure. Man,
I've been telling them about this.
You have not read Pleasure and you like your sex scene. Listen. You are slipping.
You ain't so shit.
Really?
You are missing out.
Really? Let me tell you. And when I say I really enjoyed erotica, you know whose books I like that really just lit a fire for me? Zane.
Zane is good.
Zane is good, but I had to stop reading her stuff because I started feeling like we weren't getting too much of a story.
You're right. Yeah. That's when she started getting into I want to call it like chocolate something. When she started, it was just like I was like, wait. I like the sex scenes, but I like there to be a plot. I like there to be a story. I want to build up. I love Zane too, Talina. I love Zane too, but I have to have a story. I don't just need sex because after a while, it becomes a rub and read that I'm not feeling.
So hey, listen, we just gave you the best option.
Best erotica ever. Pleasure. Ever. I've been telling her about that. Yeah, I did read One Night. One Night was right. One Night was the whole. That was good too.
And I'm like that too, Tara, where I will literally get tired of the sex scenes and start skipping through. I'm like, yeah, if you didn't fuck on this end, you didn't fuck on that.
Well, no, he had a story in this. There was a story in One Night, but it was literally about two people who met one night and they just literally had sex the whole night. But there was a story in between that. It built up. It built up. So you would definitely just have to read it. But I'm gonna get on EJD before I die. She's gonna be the ready.
Absolutely. Started from the beginning.
No time soon because I got a whole TBR.
Yeah,
but you should definitely get to it.
I will before this year is out. Are there any readers or authors that you're into right now? Have you been doing any reading lately?
Right now, I'm gonna be honest. The last thing I probably picked up and was about to read, but India Ray is probably who I've been reading the most of lately. Yeah, I like her. And
what does she? What genre does she write in?
Like urban romance.
Okay, this is the first time I'm hearing it first, so we definitely gonna have to look that up. I'm about to look her up right now.
And, definitely. I can't think. I gotta log on to my Kindle app and look.
Are you on Goodreads?
I am. I'm on Goodreads. Kevin Macklin.
Okay.
Although I haven't been that active on Goodreads though. I need to.
Okay. So what we need you to do, post your catalog, right? How our readers can find you on Instagram, because I was looking for you on Instagram.
Okay.
Instagram, Twitter, whatever platform, social media platforms you're on. If you have your website, you have anything.
Thank you, Tara.
Oh, okay.
Because I still
I
spelled it
like,
wrong.
and yeah, I would have been spelling it and y'all know me. I will spell something. That's an interesting way to spell it. NDIA. Okay.
She's
But
good though. She has some good books.
cool.
Definitely recommend.
But whatever platform you're on, please let us know how our readers can reach you. Like I said, I know that you go by another Facebook name, so that way my readers can definitely find you if we want to get in your inbox and let you know. Listen, like Nicole said, cinnamon need to be up in the house.
Hey, talk to me. Listen, connect with me. Let me know what you think, what you want. I'm definitely here.
Nicole wants the stories on the bad
people,
guy.
so.
I can tell you that right now. She wants the stories on the bad guy.
Yeah,
maybe I'll do that.
Feel free to drop some updates and tag us so we can find out what's going on with Mia, with Sire. Hey, I remember Fire.
You got it. You remember Sire, but you forgot Maya.
She's working on it. She's working on it.
You said Mia.
You're going to get one or the other.
Yeah. I'm going to let you slide. It's good.
Y'all know how many books I read in a day?
I know. I know.
Listen, I'm getting a little old up here, so I got to.
That's why you got me. I got you.
That's exactly why. That's exactly why. But we have enjoyed you. We sincerely appreciate that you have joined us and accepted our invitation to be here as our first.
Listen, I am honored to be invited. I am honored to be your first male guest. I don't even know what to say about that.
We're going to make it our business that you're not the last. We have some brothers coming up behind you. Nicola Messier. I know. I loved how he loved his cousin Mark.
Mark will absolutely get a book. I'm saying that now.
Hey.
Okay.
We got a receipt now. This is a receipt. Selena, you got to get here on time, sis. And we was 30 minutes late.
But,
sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. I'm messing with her because that's how late she always is. But we love her. We love her. We have some brothers coming behind you, so we're going to make sure it is not our last. But we have a new and upcoming author, Ralph Edgerton. We have author Prince Amir Tahid is his book name, is his pen name. And I'm going to have to make sure I talk to him for the pronunciation. But let me tell you something. When it comes to New Orleans, everything has a twist on it. Don't put no accents over it because I promise you it's going to go from being, listen, it's going to be an ole.
New Orleans is New Orleans.
I don't know if, I want to say her name right, if LaShira is still here. But if she is, LaShira, because who I am, right? I saw the La on his side and then LaShira. I said La Cherie.
She hooked it up. And I was like, that is not that lady's name.
But listen, it's a beautiful thing to be named in Louisiana. Oh, yo.
That's not her name. Her name is LaShira.
Who else's name?
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks for having me. It's been so much fun.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, what? Y'all are blessed.
And be sure to invite some of your other author friends, your readers, to join us. Join us for our April challenge. You know, I know you may be busy writing, but maybe pick up one of our books and hit us on our next broadcast, which will happen for our Fresh Bourbon on the Rocks. We have 6 amazing new authors coming on. Selena, who's with us, she'll be one of them. Author Wintertime, author Aaliyah Danielle, author, like I said, Ralph Edgerton, Prince, Ty Love. We'll have Ty with us. And did I name all 6? I feel like I'm missing.
That was all of them. That was all of them. Well, you didn't say Prince. You didn't say Prince again.
I said Prince.
Oh, you did?
Say
okay.
Prince. So it's four ladies, and I did say Ty, and we have 4 guys. And listen, when I tell you, I know we're gonna have a great time introducing new talents to people. And some of these people have been writing for a while, but they're new to us. So we want to make sure we get and from what I've already started reading, I got some thrillers in there. I got some really good stuff in there. So drop in and join us, Kevin. Expect to see your story on our YouTube channel as well as in our newsletter for Beads and Reads. So we are really looking forward. We need you to hang on while we disconnect with our viewers. But thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Thanks, guys.
We've had a wonderful time.
Thank you for being here, everyone. That's what's up.
Good night, y'all.